right on time. A brand new Crunchyroll Swag box. And this box, you know, I'm going to have to compare it to last year's video. It feels bigger. So I'm wondering what's all inside. Now, once again, just as it was last year, when I went to go select my Crunchyroll Swag box, they only had 3 options. So, second year in a row, I chose Dragon Ball Z. I really wish they would have this princess, but Dragon Ball Z is a family favorite in my house. So, easy choice. Let's see what kind of Dragon Ball goodies might be inside. I really like the kapow pattern on the front, on the sides there. We got the Crunchyroll logo there. And we've got a lot of plain Nickelodeon orange all the way around. I think it's actually darker than Nickelodeon, and that's for the best. So there we go. Now we know what it looks like. Let's take a peek inside. What wonders will amaze me? Ooh. Oh, and the cardboard is black on the inside. Oh, okay. Okay, so first thing up, we have Great Saiyaman, aka Gohan, after one too many hits to the head. So, fun fact about Great Saiyaman, if you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z, shame on you. But if you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z and made it up to this point in the anime where Gohan is a teenager and suddenly a superhero, a lot of his poses are inspired by Sailor Moon. And that's because at the time that the episodes leading up to Buu Saga were being animated, they were still working on Sailor Moon. I recently discovered some Toei merchandise where there were Sailor Moon characters and Dragon Ball Z characters at the same time. And a lot of them are on Blue Sky. What is the name of the account? I want to say it's Sailor Fruit Bat. I need to find the account and link it somewhere so you folks can follow it too. But, like, if you scroll down, you'll find, like, a calendar or something that's got, like, Goku and Future Trunks and Sailor Moon on there. But anywho, a lot of the same staff went back and forth between Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. And, fun fact, the girlfriend that Great Saiyaman picks up in this season, Videl, who later becomes Gohan's wife and the mother of his daughter Pan, is voiced by Hotaru. So, pretty fun fact there. But Gohan is a favorite of mine. I've always loved Gohan. I always felt really sorry for him. I felt like they just put too much on him. So this is a GE animation plush, just like my Sailor Moon plushies. We've got Super Saiyan Goku on the tag with some of the Dragon Balls. There's our GE animation information there. And as always, GE Animation's really good with their quality. I love their Sailor Moon plushies, and this is my second Dragon Ball Z plushie. If you'll recall, last year in my swag box, I got Krillin. And he should be over here. Did he fall? Let me see if he's still here. Hold on. Shoot. He's around here somewhere. Hey, William. You have the Dragon Ball Z series on DVD? I have a few Dragon Ball DVDs. I need to repurchase my collection. I have, if I remember correctly, because my mom has a bigger Dragon Ball collection than I do, I have Tree of Might, the original DVD, like the old DVD before this went to Cartoon Network, well, after it went to Cartoon Network, I should say. And I have a couple of VHS tapes around the house. My mom had like almost a complete uncut VHS set, except for like the last part of the Buu Saga and some of the movies. And I might have some of the old Ocean Dub Dragon Ball movies on VHS. But I really should just repurchase my collection. I always loved Dragon Ball Z. But Dragon Ball Super has become an obsession of mine. I adore Dragon Ball Super. So we got little Gohan here. And, ooh, okay, next for the swag bag we have a Dragon Ball Z cap. Also from GE Animation. And just in time, because the weather report said that although it is blazingly hot, as you can hear by my fan still going, We're supposed to have a cool down in the next 2 weeks. I hope that's the case because we've had a crazy bad summer and I am all ready for pumpkin spice. And this is pumpkin spice colored. It's not quite the same color as Goku's gi, although I noticed they made it like extra yellow on the tag, which kind of matches Gohan's tag. It's more like a, if you recall the old Crayola crayons, like a burnt orange. But this is just in time. It's got the King Kai symbol he wore after he was all done on Snake Way. Rather comfortable. Okay, here we go. Speaking of Dragon Ball Super, we've got a little peel-off keychain. One of the things that I like about Dragon Ball Super is that they gave Pilaf's Gain a far better ending than whatever the hell GT was. GT was gross. GT, they took Pilaf and Shu and Mai and they made them, I don't know, 1,000 years old. And they have them turn Goku into a little boy and then, poof, that's it. They're just done for the rest of the series. We never see them again. Super decided to give them a brand new life. So they get the Dragon Balls, and Pilaf gets the wish that he wanted to grant back in Dragon Ball in the first season, where they would wish for youth, but he did it wrong. So they're turned back into children, and they can't go back to being adults. They have to grow up all over again. So Bulma kind of just doesn't remember that, you know, these were the antagonists back when she and Goku were first friends. So she lets them live with her at Capsule Corps, and they just grow up with Trunks. And, you know, I was worried at first how they were going to do that, because there is still that age gap between Trunks and Mai, and that's gross and creepy. But if she's really just a kid again, they're just having her grow up all over again, which I'm reading the manga, and that's exactly what they're doing, then I guess it figures itself out. It's still a little creepy, but aside from that, I do like the fact that they get a second chance. Because although they were villains in Dragon Ball, they weren't really all that evil. They were evil in the way that Danhausen is evil. If you're a wrestling fan, you understand what I'm saying. Or if you're into Pokemon, they were evil in the same way that Team Rocket is evil. And by that I mean Jesse and James, and not what the hell Giovanni's doing, because Giovanni is evil. But Jesse and James, that sort of level, where it's like, they're mostly bad-ish, but then there is a morality streak that stops them from being truthfully evil, and they're like chaotic good in a way. That's what Pilaf is. You know, and I didn't used to be a Pilaf fan, but Dragon Ball Super made me appreciate this group a lot more. So interesting that Funimation got to license this before Crunchyroll usurped control. I think at the end of the world, like, everything's going to either be Disney or Crunchyroll at this point. So I've just made my peace with that. What do we have next? Oh, we get a thank you card. Ooh! And I'm not going to show the other side because there's a coupon code. Extra $20 off your next order of $100. In this economy, I don't really see myself spending $100 on anything right now. But it's nice to have, because you never know. I might change my mind. If they start carrying more Sailor Moon merchandise again, maybe. Or maybe something Miku related. I'm going to be 39 this year, so maybe a Miku party is in order. We shall see. And what do we got next? Ooh! We have a Z Warriors bracelet. Again, from our friends at GE Animation. So I'll open this up and take a better look. It's one of those bracelets that's on, like, the cord they usually use for pendants at the mall. The stream is mirrored. Oh, it is mirrored. How did that happen? You know, I think this is the third video where it's been mirrored. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see. Okay, that would show the other side of the room, and I'd rather not because I have a shelf that broke. Huh. You know, I'm looking at my settings, and there's no way to fix the mirroring. I wonder if it's with my camera. Let's see, what does this one do? Okay, well that made the chat come back, so now I can see everything. Huh. I'm gonna have to play with this. I wonder if my camera's doing this. I'm gonna look in the settings, and I hopefully, fingers crossed, next time I do a live video, I'll have this fixed, because that's just annoying. That should say Sailor Moon, and instead it's like Noom Orias, and that's just gonna mess with me a little bit. That even says Z Warriors. It's just, what does it say backwards? Zoriaru? Yeah, I need to fix that. Good call, William. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll make sure that gets fixed by the next one. And you're not going to believe this, but there's only one item left in this box. Look at how much cardboard is used. And it's just for a handful of things, like... But anyway, the last item, we've got some Dragon Ball Super playing cards. Let's get the plastic off so we can take a better look. I have a modest collection of playing cards. I've got a couple of decks for Hello Kitty and a couple for Sailor Moon. So this will be my first Dragon Ball Super playing deck. So we've got some of the gods, and... Oh, hey, they put his sister on there. And then we've got Goku and Vegeta. It's them in God mode, but a lot of people online, when this first happened, they called it, like, DeviantArt colored Saiyans. I don't know how to feel about that. I had a good chuckle. It's like a good little pattern on the side there. Kind of reminds me of some of the dishes at my local Asian Fusions restaurant. I like the background very much. Let's see. Now, when it comes to anime playing cards, you have two types. Well, you have three types. You either have plain playing cards, except for the tops, playing cards that have random pictures from the TV show, or you have playing cards that have pictures of the characters. So, let's see what we have. So, here are our Joker cards. Oop, here we go. Here are Joker cards. And here's the backs of all of the cards. I'll put these over here. Okay, it looks like we are in the secondary the third category, where we have random pictures of each of the characters. And there's more than 52 pictures here, so let's see all of them. Goku. And I love that they put their names up for those who maybe joined into Super a little late. Because, like, if you came in late, you have no idea who Botamo is. Kaba, alternate universe Saiyan. Frost. Hit. Boo. Piccolo. Which somebody posted online that some people feel like today is Piccolo's birthday because this is the day his episode where he hatched aired, and other people feel like it's Bulma's birthday, so I didn't get a chance to Google it. I think there's a discrepancy because of time, because one of the posts was international, so I have to go back and see which date specifically they're referencing. Goten and Trunks. That was cute that for Super they gave Goten back an older outfit from before he wore a copy of his dad's outfit. Oh, here we go, 2. Oh, excuse me. 3 for Vegeta. And, you know, I used to flip-flop a little bit when I watched Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Super, this guy is my favorite character now. In Z, I thought he was okay. But in Super, no. This guy is the #1 reason why I watch Dragon Ball Super. They just take every... Super has so much fan service in it. We learn that Vegeta is clearly the better dad between he and Goku. He is the #1 dad. And he has more adult values than Goku does. And I also love Super because this is where Vegeta finally realizes Goku's not his enemy. Goku's his friend. In a I should take care of you kind of way. So I just love Vegeta. So here we go. We've got 3 for Goku. Wait a minute. I think we've got some repeat artwork here. Yep. Okay. So we do have some repeat art. So it's pretty much the same suit. just they changed the border. Interesting. I was kind of thinking they would add more characters, because, like, I don't see Gohan, I don't see Krillin, Yamcha, Tien Shinhan. No, it's just those characters over and over again. So we get... I'm going to put them back up on the screen here. Alright, here we go. Grab Goku, grab Vegeta, grab the boys. There we go. Okay. So the only characters in the deck are pretty much just these. Get the rest of them. I'm going to put Kappa with them on this hand, and then... Oh, and the boys. We get these characters, and then just this crop. So we don't really get a lot of characters. They didn't put any of the girls in, so no Cabbage, no... excuse me, Kappa is in this deck, and he's a boy. There's no Kale, there's no Caulifla, there's no Chi-Chi, no Bulma, which is interesting because Bulma is a huge, huge part of Dragon Ball Super. That's why it was more than devastating when her original voice actress passed away and Aya Hirano had to take over. And if you don't know, Aya Hirano was also Sailor Mercury, and she was also in Cardcaptor Sakura. But it was so devastating when she passed because she's a big part of Dragon Ball Super, because it takes place before, during, and after she gives birth to, depending on your translation, Bra or Bulla. Your choice. Both are considered accurate at this point. So I'm surprised that, like, Bulma's not in this. There's a couple of other characters I would have put in. Let me take off my hat. Okay, so there we have it. This is everything that is in the 2025 swag box, with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of room to spare. I'm guessing maybe they just had this box set aside in case they had, like, something larger. But just like last year, like, there's more packaging than presents. But this year's definitely more focused. So the other options I know was there was One Piece and there was My Hero Academia. The only reason why I didn't choose My Hero Academia is because a lot of the stuff that they have on Crunchyroll is a little bit cheaper at Walmart and on Amazon, and I didn't know what I was going to get out of that. Dragon Ball Z in my area was very plentiful, and lately it's been a little hard to get because it keeps selling out. So I figured Dragon Ball would be a pretty safe bet. And I'm still too new to One Piece. I've gotten 3 episodes of the original uncensored anime under my belt. I watched part of the live-action version and part of one episode of the little miniature reboot they did, and I haven't watched anything else of One Piece. I could not tell you the names of any of the characters beyond Luffy and Nami. That's kind of it. So, I didn't do One Piece. I do love My Hero Academia, and I'm looking forward to the last season, and Vigilantes was okay. But like I said, Dragon Ball Z is going through a slight lull in merchandise in my area. It's weird because usually that's like the safe bet, but right now we're kind of down to just like a few posters at Five Below and a little bit at my local Hot Topic, which my local Hot Topic has been downsizing like crazy. They have a shelf. They have like a shelf and a half for anime, and it doesn't look anything like South Lake Mall, which is about an hour from here, which has a Hot Topic that has this beautiful wealth of stuff I can choose from. My local one, nah. So, Dragon Ball is a safe bet. Glad I went with this. Still curious about the box situation. Like, just like last year, I feel like smaller packaging would have been a good idea. But anywho, that pretty much does it for this. And I'm going to work on figuring out what setting flipped the camera, because that's really annoying me too. Thank you for checking me out up to this point. I smell my dinner is about to be done, and I think I need to go downstairs. So thank you all for watching. I will see you soon.